This is a disclaimer about this video. So in the main section of this video is that I gave my thoughts about the announcement that the Game Awards did, and I said that this particular Game Award is better than last year. And what I meant by that is I just meant the announcement and sort of the performance for some of them kind of interesting, but the overall, yes, if you've been following what's happening, not so much. There's a lot of controversy. There's a lot of, well, the word is disrespectful, especially to the developers. Every time they get an award, they were brushing them out. A lot of people already talk about it, including Smash JT, Young Ye, Reputed USA, and I couldn't agree with what they said. The bottom line is, bad form, probably business, people behind it. Guess what? It's all about making money. They need those ads. And of course, the big one that people did say about the layoff, chances are the people who supporting the Game Awards are probably the company who laid off their employees. So, I mean, piss them off and see what happens, just saying. But it is unfortunate overall that, well, there were some problem. But with the announcement, it's fine in my opinion. The performance, especially the Game Awards band, I think they're good. But like I said, the overall, yeah, it is bad. So with that said, here's the main part of the video, giving my thoughts on the announcement. And that's the only part that I said, yes, it's better than last year. Hello guys, NautoAis here, and I want to give my thoughts on the announcement that happened at the Game Awards 2023. So before that, I could give my quick thoughts on, well, I have to say, props to Jeff Keighley. This time around, nothing happened. No trespasser, no someone basically interfering in the stage like last year. So the gist of it, if you don't know, there was a random kid that's known to be political, decided to say some weird stuff, and let's just say that Jeff Keighley just wasn't happy. And of course, Gamescom 2023, something like that happened again with someone basically demanding Grand Theft Auto 6, and Jeff Keighley just wasn't too happy about it, to a point that in a Q&A, he basically said that he is tight in security, so they did. If you notice, there's some sort of like rope barricade, and of course, there's even security guards there. It is what it is. It is kind of weird looking, but he got it too, because he had to tighten security. I kind of said that before on my previous video about this situation. So at least nothing happened. The only controversy basically is Dave the Diver being considered a indie game, but that's a different story though. So with that said, I want to give my thoughts on the game. Got announced that I am interested, and oh boy, they were a lot than last year. So with that said, first thing is, surprisingly, they're doing a remake of Brothers. So it's a game where you play as two brothers, and each one you control with a control stick. Fun game. I played it on the PS3. And spoiler, let's just say that you're gonna end up crying in the end. I'm just gonna leave it to that one. For people who played it, you know what I'm talking about. So the next one is, I'm surprised, God of War Ragnarok will have a free DLC called Valhalla. And for what the trailer's been shown, sort of, it is a story, but there is some sort of like a roguelike element in it. So sort of a challenge mode, but looks interesting. I still have to play the game itself, but hey, at least it's free DLC. Props to Santa Monica and Sony. So the next one is, they revealed the title for Dragon Ball Tenkaichi 4, and it's called Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero, coming in 2024. So I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be like a long way, but maybe the end of 2024, if I'm just guessing there. But again, still, guess what? A new Dragon Ball game. Yes, it's sort of about fighters. Some people like Tenkaichi. You might say, well, what about Dragon Fighters 2? Well, that's a long way, but the first game has rollback finally to some extent, but they're coming to a close. Elfeld from Guilty Gear is making a comeback for Strive as the next DLC character. I don't really play her. I do play Guilty Gear, some of the games. But hey, for people who are fans, there you go. And I guess the leaks were true, because it was leaked. People thought it was Photoshop of Bridget, but I guess it is true. So speaking of popular thing, Square Enix, I'm surprised, finally doing a new Mana game titled Vision of Mana. So this one's actually a new game. It's not a remake. It's not Dawn of Mana. That's a PS2 exclusive. Maybe they'll do a remake in the long run, but that's a different story there. So Vision of Mana is actually a new game. It looks like, kind of plays like Trial of Mana, the remake. So kind of makes sense. Now you kind of see why the Trial of Mana remakes is like that in 3D. They're using that base for Vision of Mana. Makes sense. And of course, surprisingly, It'll be on the PS, console, and Xbox. But if you notice, no Switch. And I'll talk about a lot of this game because most of them will not be on the Switch. You say, oh my gosh, what's up? Well, if it's coming out 2024, you know the report is coming out. A new Nintendo console will be revealed. So another surprise at the Game Awards 2023 is Sega. So I've been following certain people, influencers, streamers. They got a letter that said that tune in to the Game Award because they're gonna reveal something. So a lot of people assume it's Virtual Fighter because of its anniversary, maybe something new from Sega. But on the award itself, they revealed that 5 games from their legacy line: Shinobi, Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, Street of Rage, and Jet Grind Radio. And they even said more. So apparently Sega are doing something that people been wanting them to do, and that do something with their legacy games, and they are doing something. A new Shinobi game, a new Street of Rage. I know, granted, there's Street of Rage 4, a new Crazy Taxi, Jet Grind Radio, Golden Axe, etc., etc., etc. And I wouldn't be surprised Virtual Fighter 6. Yes, there is Virtual Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, which is basically Virtual Fighter with the Dragon Engine, aka the Yakuza games. But again, still, who knows? So I'm surprised. And then I read up to what's going on, why they're doing this. And apparently Sega want to go back to a mindset what they did during the Dreamcast era. So pumping a lot of Sega games because people want them. It's always been, you notice, Sonic, Yakuza, and some popular one, because they need something that's a guarantee they're going to make money. And now they're saying, hey, look, you know what? We're going to take a risk. Maybe they're good, maybe not. Who knows? Just have to wait and see. Jeff Keighley said that a lot of this game is going to be released in further years. So it's not just in 1 year. It's going to be further down, multiple years. So just have to wait and see. And then, of course, another first IP from Sony, Rise of the Ronin, developer by Tecmo Koei or Team Ninja. So is it going to be some sort of a Ninja Gaiden game with an original IP for Sony? Who knows? I did talk about it before, so that's also coming out in 2024. It'll be interesting for what it is. A first-party game for Microsoft called OD by Kojima Production. Yes, the same people who did Death Stranding. Of course, there's a sequel for that one, PlayStation exclusive. So OD is a different game. What it is, well, you just have to wait and see. Kind of like what happened with Death Stranding. I know it's funny. But it has Jordan Peele. So there's going to be more famous stars going to be in the game. Again, that's what Kojima liked. That's his thing. And no one knows what it is, but exclusive for Microsoft, it is what it is there. So this one, I'm surprised. So they've been showcasing this, and I've been talking about it in the past. Developed in China, Wukong. So I'm like, oh, cool. They're finally more info of the game. What I did not know they were going to do is add English dub. First I said, wow, there's English dub. So what is this game? Then all of a sudden, wait a minute. Is that Wukong game that people like, including Maximilian Dude? Well, apparently it has an option for English dub. So I salute it. And again, it's not a Dark Souls game, but it is a very, very detailed action game. Very beautiful. I am interested. So if there's a demo, cool. We'll just have to wait and see. So the next one are two from HoYoverse. First is Honkai Rail. They showed a new character, a new place, so they're adding new stuff for this free-to-play game. It is what it is. It's a turn-based RPG, free-to-play. I know it's weird, HoYoverse, so they're kind of skillful for what they do. Again, from China, so just saying that. And another one is Zenless Zone Zero will make its console debut in 2024. So I don't know what it is. There's betas already about it. I think it's on PC. Yes, there is a bit of a controversy, but again, they're from China, so you kind of see their politics to some extent. Not going to touch it. It is what it is there. So the next one is more info trailer for the Suicide Squad. Yes, the game had been delayed. It was supposed to be 2023, but because of what it is just a glorified premium Fortnite game. And I think they're going to stick with that. So what about the flow combo? Well, hopefully their next game will be a flow combo. Maybe it's going to be a reboot Batman. Or maybe the real direct sequel to the Arkham game. So the problem is they keep saying this is a sequel to Arkham. Probably bad marketing there in my opinion. If Rocksteady just said, hey, you know what? This is just a spin-off to the Arkham game. at least it makes more sense. But I don't know. They're saying that it's canon, which is fine, but it's a direct sequel rather than a spin-off or a different story, different timeline. And that's what it is. And of course, sadly to say, this is going to be the last time you're going to hear the great Kevin Conroy. If you know what happened to him, he did pass away due to complication. Kind of bummed me out, but we'll just have to wait and see. So the next one is from EA Original. They call it Zoe. And the main character's a kid. And the best part is that the voice for the main character is the guy who did Bayek. So if you know the game, Assassin's Creed Origin, good game. So it looks like a Metroidvania game. Interesting. So we'll just have to wait and see. And like I said, a lot of this is 2024. Kind of makes sense. Come on. I mean, except for God of War, Ragnarok, Valhalla. But that's a DLC. Different story there. And then Final Fantasy 16 introduced their paid DLC expansion pass, Echoes, Fallen, and the Rising Tide. And it's more story about, well, Clive. And I know it's a bit of a spoiler in my opinion because I haven't played the game yet, but it is what it is. And according to Jeff Keighley, the game takes place prior to the final battle. So kind of like more story, more content. Just makes sense there. And speaking of another Final Fantasy, is more info with a trailer, a musical trailer, beautiful. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So they kind of show more what it is. They finally show word Sid. You got Vincent. And of course, like I said in the previous video, there will be NPC special. The new characters going to be added for Rebirth is Red, Yuffie, and Cat Sid. That's it. So the story-wise, beautiful. I am going to get it in the long run. I still need to finish the Yuffie DLC. But like I said, can't wait for that one. Maybe if there's a bit of a sale in the long run. Like I said, there's a lot of games already coming out in 2024, including Yakuza, including Peach, that new Showtime game, and Paper Mario, and a lot of stuff. So it is what it is there. But then, coming to a close, I'm surprised that Bethesda or Arcane will be doing a Blade game. So hopefully it's not first person, but if it is, hey, it is what it is. Maybe it's going to be more like Fallout? Probably not. Maybe an action game, but we'll just have to wait and see. They only show like a trailer. It is what it is. And then coming to a close, I gotta say, surprisingly to some extent, but of course not, because they're done with World, they're done with Rise. So they introduced again a new Monster Hunter game titled Monster Hunters Wild, coming in 2025, and the producer for the game said that more info will be coming in 2024. Makes sense because to some extent, even so, World's probably done. They're done with that game. Rise, to some extent, they're almost done. I did talk about that in a different video, but they said, hey, you'll keep playing that game. For me personally, yeah, they're not bad Monster Hunter game, but I need something that have NPC to help me defeat the monster. But I don't know. Maybe the whole point is that you have to play online with it. Again, what can you do? And like I said, I played some of this game, not bad, but surprisingly, to some extent, Monster Hunter Wild is going to be on PC, PS5, and Series X. So a lot of this game, like I said, will be in 2024, and most of them will not be on the Switch. You can see what happened with Mortal Kombat 11 and Arkham Knight. You know what happened to that game, so people are complaining. And that, like I said, 2024, the Switch 2, the next Nintendo console will be revealed. Because it kind of makes sense there. So don't be surprised. Most of this game will be on the Switch. They're probably going to say, oh, look, it's going to be on the Switch 2 or the Nintendo console, whatever they call it. Because the funny part is, they're not even saying any project name. That's also another one. Because they're really trying to keep it secret as best they can. Because, again, it is a Switch, like, successor. Like, it's going to be the Switch feature, but better. We have to wait and see. Maybe Steam Deck. I don't know. Anyway, awesome presentation. And as for the winners, congrats. Baldur's Gate 3 as Game of the Year 2023. Yeah, it makes sense. People like it. A bit of political if you know the story behind it, but it is what it is. And of course, the elephant in the room also is that a particular game was snubbed. A lot of people were not happy about it, but a lot of people also said, hey, look, the people who chose the game, they're basically mostly about business. They're protecting the reputation, and most of them don't want to deal with this particular game with a 20-foot pole. Let's just say that one. And there are some also like Octopath Traveler 2 has best music, and maybe they never played it. Maybe, I don't know the reason. There are some also games that should have been in the Game Award as nominees, but again, it's Jeff Keighley in his business suits. Maybe from people who make Mountain Dew and Doritos, but different story there. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Awesome, better than last year. And finally, nothing, no controversial. Nobody invaded the stage. So like I said, he did tighten security and he made sure about it. So with that, I'll see you guys later.